Hello everybody, Tim Norris here, aka GreyElephant.
I'm Carmen Norris.
And welcome to a live play review by GreyElephant Gaming. What are we playing today?
Today we are playing Barony.
Yes, and this was sent to us by Asmodee, and it is by Matagot. This is an area control game with a little bit of war, a little bit of dance,
Little bit of skirmish. You have limited resources, so there's a lot of strategy built in here.
The whole concept of this is that you're trying to build up your legacy, and eventually, what are you going to become?
Eventually, you become the Duke of Earl. Duke.
So if you're not familiar with how our videos work, is that we're going to sit down, we're going to play this game live on camera, go head to head, and we will see who can become the Duke
of Earl.
Alright, we got the game all set up here. We went ahead and got our little pieces on the board. These represent cities, and these are our little knights. Carmen, make the noise. Nay! Nay! And each of us got to place a city and a knight in 3 different locations. We went ahead and already did that before the camera came on. Now, one thing you should know is that this board is randomly set up, and it comes in these little 3x3 tiles, or what is this, 3x3 tiles? Is that what would that be called? Yeah, sure. And there's a ton of them, and we just take them and we just kind of create a board. You put 9 tiles out per player.
There's 3 hexes per tile. How's that?
Yeah, that works. Each of us get a little player aid card, and I mean, we got a little person who we're supposed to be. I'm like the purple dolphin people, I guess. According to this, I'm the purple dolphin, but I'm supposed to be blue.
Super hot redhead knight, though.
She's the ginger knights. And so basically, up here is the score tracker. And the way that you're going to score points is by building villages or conquering your opponent's villages. And that'll make sense as we're playing the game. Each time, though, you do build a village, you're going to get these little victory point tokens. The bigger number represents points you could turn in, and for every 15 points, you can move up your marker, you know, from the 0 to 15, from the 15 to the 30, 45, 60. Basically, you go left to right is what I'm getting at.
So if you're in this column, you'll be moving this way, and etc.
The smaller number is if you had this token in front of you at the end of the game, and you could get, so for instance, 5 points during game, 3 points at the end of the game that you could possibly score. Now, each time you build a city, which both of us can build 2 more cities throughout the game, you're going to be able to score 10 points. So you go down on the score tracker for that. So basically left to right with these tokens and with the cities. So you could get to 20 all the way over to 80. Whomever reaches this 60, 70, 80 spot here at the end of the board first will trigger end game. Carmen was first player, so that means that if she triggers it, I will still get 1 turn. So alright, why don't we just get the game started?
I am first player, so I'm going to take a move action. And if we look at the board, you can move up to 2 knights. And there are several places that you cannot move your knights, but those aren't really going to apply right now because, well, you know, we're at the beginning of the game and nothing's really in my way. So he's going to go over here. Nay.
Nay.
And this guy is going to go over here. I'm going to set myself up to try to build villages in an easy spot where I don't need a lot of defense.
So you get to move 2 knights, 1 space. You can never move 1 knight, 2 spaces. Something that you might want to keep in mind. It's important. It's important. So she's trying to hurry up and set up some quick spots here. Well, why don't I then just go for a few reinforcements? So I'm going to bring in 3 knights, and you can have as many knights on 1 spot as you wish. You have to place all your knights in the same city where you wish to spawn the knights from. And because I am next to a lake, I can put 3 knights there instead of only 2, which is the norm.
Alright, I try not to play defensively, but I just can't help it. I mean, I see all those knights right there next to all the farmland. And so I'm going to take my knights and I'm going to just put them right there so that I'm ready to take over some of the farmland as well.
Alright, so I'm going to take 2 of my knights from here and we're going to go, nay, brother, nay, let's ride.
And here we are in the same area again, and I'm going to have to move 2 knights because if I place 1 knight here, then on Tim's next turn, he can just take that knight right off the board. So I'm going to have to place 2 so that he's not going to be able to do that. Now, on his next turn, he could still move these here, and then we'd be at a stalemate, and that'd be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens.
Stalemate. You know what? I'm going to move these 2 knights down there now. Nay, my brothers. Hey, this is officially a posse.
I have the camera on my board so I can show you that I'm going to take a build action. You can remove 1 knight and place either a fortress or a village. You can do this as many times as you want for as many knights that are on the board. So I have one up here that I can place something. I think I will place a village right there. Take this knight off. And when I do that, I get points.
She gets the mountain points, which is 2 in-game 0 for in-game to end-game 0.
Okay, so I get 2 in order to move this score track
But she
up.
needs to get up to 15 to be able to turn them in, so.
Okay, next I will do it again in the mountains right here.
Okay, I got your little shield, so your token.
And then I'm going to go down here to the farmlands, and I think I'm going to build a fortress there.
I was hoping I would force your hand to do that. There you go. And then there's your last one.
So he's trying to waste my fortresses in places where he doesn't feel like they're as important, I think is what it is.
Technically, they're called strongholds, not fortresses.
I'm sorry. But now this knight can move without worrying about protecting anything.
Let's explain that real fast, because if she had, say, a village there, she could have left her knight there. That would prevent me from moving my knights in. So as long as there's a knight present in the village, I cannot move my knights into there. But if she did ever move away, then I could send 2 of my knights in there and destroy that village. And if I did, I would get my choice of any one of, if you go over here, look, I could take any one of these tokens from her. Obviously, I would take the most expensive one from her, right? But by building a stronghold here, what she is doing now, she can now move her knight away. I never can move any of my knights into this location now.
Exactly, and you can see that on your player board because it shows you where you can and cannot move your knights. You cannot move your knights where there's a stronghold or where there are 2 pawns.
Alright, so I think I'm going to move this guy here, and we are going to move this guy here.
I think I'm going to start worrying about more of the board. I've got to decide whether I want to worry about the middle over here or the top. I think I'm going to go ahead and recruit more knights. And if I can get a hold of them, I'm looking through the camera lens and it's throwing me off.
It never ends well.
And they will go. See? Look, they're falling over.
I will get them.
They're falling over. I can't do this.
Bunch of drunken knights is why.
Exactly.
I'm going to place this guy here, and then we're going to move this guy down to here.
Now, I'm thinking I would like to put knights here, but my problem is I only have 1 left. So that's something to keep in mind throughout the game. You have a limited resource of knights. I'm going to have to build villages or something in order to get my knights back. So I will move this guy. I'll move him there. And then I will move this guy there.
Okay, and let's see. I think I will now, I'm going to remove him. So I'm going to put a little village here. And Carmen, if you would appreciate, can you collect my little shields for me? I'm going to remove this guy. And I'm going to... Basically what happens when you do this is it's basically like the knight retires and he settles down. And he raised a little knight family. And we are going to put a stronghold here. And now we are going to remove one of these guys. And I'm very tempted to put my stronghold there as well. It kind of, what it does is you want to try to hedge off your opponent as best you can, but that is my last stronghold if I do that, and that's really difficult to decide. But I know then that I could relax and not have to worry about defending the village, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to place that guy there. And you did get my tokens, so that got me 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 total tokens, so not a bad turn.
Thought I would show you what Tim just did to me over here. I cannot move a knight into this space. I cannot move a knight into this space. I cannot move a knight into this space. So these guys right here would have to go all the way around in order to do anything.
They
And
have
then
to-
they would have to, like, go...
Well, but you
There-
got plenty of space over here. It's not a big deal.
I cannot build anything in the forests.
Well, you can build villages in the forests.
Right. I'm just
fine.
not going to be able to build a stronghold.
You're fine. You're fine.
But basically, these guys are going to be kind of wasted because they're only going to be able to build pretty much one village in the forest that he's not going to attack.
You're fine.
So, let's see what I'm going to do next. I think I will move my horsies again. Nay! I don't know if I want to move that one. I'm going to move this one there. And
There you go. Move that one.
I don't know. I'll
there
move
you go.
that one there,
That's
I
a
guess.
good spot. I agree. All right, and then I'm going to bring out more knights, and I'm going to place all 3 of them up here. So, let me think about that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
okay, well, I could move more knights before I build. I'm not really sure if I want to do that or not because I'm gonna need an extra knight for defense here along somewhere eventually. You know what? I think I'll do it. I will move.
You said do it.
I'll move this guy here, and I will move this guy there. All right.
Somebody left themselves open. So now I'll move my 2 knights down towards her knight. And here we come. The slow-moving fist of pain is about to come. So basically now she has to try to retreat this knight back to her city, or move him over to there. Otherwise, if she can build a village, all right, and she could grab the little tile. But here's the problem. I'm going to move these 2 guys into this spot. So she has a decision. She's either going to lose the knight or something's about to happen. Something's about to go down.
As you can see, I have a lot of spots with knights, so I am going to build. So I'm going to take that knight off and build
Okay.
a village.
I got your green tile. Are we
And
going
that
here?
gave me this
3,
tile
1,
right here. Okay. I'm going to build a village there.
Okay. And that was a 5. Okay.
I will build a village on the forest right there that you're pointing to.
Okay.
All right.
That gives you a 3.
And then I can build a stronghold here
There
to
you
where
go.
he can't take that back away from me.
That's a waste.
And that gives me one of these right here.
Yep.
Woo, look at all them points.
See, that was a huge waste of a stronghold, in my opinion, on my humble opinion. So I'm going to move these 2 knights out this direction now.
Okay, I see a lot of possibilities here, but some are not as urgent as others. So I think I'm going to just recruit these 3 guys and put them right there in the middle.
Her urgency is the fact that she's about to be cut off from this entire side of the board. And I sensed that that would force her to do that. Because if she doesn't do anything, she knows I'm going to block her off right here by building a village and just holding a knight right there. Which means she'll never be able to pass that way. She'll be stuck to only build from here. Basically, I would dictate where she could go after that. By her putting her knights here, now she can dictate by trying to build a village here. I expected her to do that, to be honest. I am going to place 1 knight here, and I'm going to place another knight right here.
This game, it takes a little getting used to. It's very limiting compared to other games. You can only move 2 knights. You can only place up to 3. So the moves really don't do much, it doesn't seem like. It's very strategic. So I'm going to take these 2 guys and just move them right there, and that's just a simple, fast turn.
Alright, so I'm an old knight and I'm going to retire. So him and him. So get me 2 of them tokens, please. Both for the plains. Alright, and then we've got a forest and a farmland. And he turned his sword into a plowshare.
This is tough. This is really tough. We've got the race for this area here going on. And then I could possibly take these. I mean, I'm 1 space away. He's 1 space away. He already has a knight there, though. So I think I'm too far behind,
You're
maybe.
certainly not going to be able to take those.
To try to take those.
Like, I promise you're not going to take those.
So, I think I will
Narful with the Garthak.
move this guy here. And
there.
all right,
Gosh, that was
because
so interesting.
I'm worried that if I were to just do this, then that leaves that open again. So
It does. It does.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
here, I'll spread out there.
Okay. And it's time to call in the bussy. So 3 more nights. Now what you gonna do?
See what he's done?
See what
He's
done?
adjacent. He could take this one or this
I
one.
could
So
take either. Whatever.
I'm gonna have to give up one of them right now and decide which one I want to keep.
Which one lives? Which one dies? Technically, you can move that one there, or you can move that one back, though. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, but I'm giving up one of those spots.
You are going to give up one of those spots. Yes,
That
you
guy's
are.
gonna go there. And this guy's gonna go right there.
There you go.
I was gonna do that. You didn't have to tell me to.
Yes, I did.
Shut up a little bit.
So, should I chase her 2 knights around the board? Because I could put my 2 knights there now, which means that would force her to have to move those 2 knights again. And then I can move, you see what I'm saying? And I could just chase her around the board to prevent her from building over here. See, what could happen now is that a city could be built, all right, in this area. And I don't want her to build a city over here. I could build a city right here. The way you build a city is that you say, all right, this village becomes a city. The rules is that you have to be at least a space away from another city. So as long as I have a buffer between another city, I could turn this one into a city. Each time you build a city, you get 10 points. So you move down on the score tracker. We each can do that 2 additional times throughout the game. And the thing about that is that this area here, the only real places that we could build cities are kind of like right here. It's going to become very limited is what I'm getting at. So you kind of want to take advantage of these if you possibly can. She's not going to be able to do much more over here. I've pretty well got her blocked off. All I need to do is move one of my knights right there, which means that I pretty well could own this entire side of the board, especially if I build a city right here. She knows that. I don't know if I necessarily need to worry about this side all that much, to be honest with you. So I think what I'm going to do is just that. I want to block her off. I want to hold this spot right here. So I'm going to move 2 of my knights right here.
I saw that, but I'm just one step behind you because you're already right there. My next move was going to be to move these guys there.
I anticipated that because I'm such a brilliant tactician.
Uh-huh. This is not going well for me. This guy down here is pretty much wasted. I mean, I'm going to have to move him so much in order to get him to do anything. I've got this guy over here that's like far away from everything as well.
You are in good shape actually here now.
Well, yeah.
Your decision now is, do you try to go after my villages or do you go ahead and concentrate on building a city? Because here's the problem with this. And I'm going to give you a hint. If you go after my villages, you're screwed on building a city.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to come after you, and I'm going to hedge you in even more.
Exactly.
So you need to build a city.
No matter what I do, you're probably going to hedge me in. But I will move these guys. See, this is my decision.
Long-term cities better.
I'm thinking, do I want to move both of these guys?
Well, yes.
Or do I want to leave one behind?
Because I will kill it if you...
You will kill it if I leave it behind. Is that so bad? I've got 2 over here. See, that's the thing. So...
If you move one, you better move them both.
If I move one, and I build a village, and then I build a city...
Mm-hmm. You're in great shape then.
I guess I will move this guy.
Carmen, that's not a... Well... Okay, I see what you're doing.
Because he would basically be wasted at this point.
No, look, okay. Keep the camera rolling so that I can explain why this is a terrible idea, what you're about to do
Okay.
here. Now, my next move would be to do that.
Exactly.
Now, what are you going to do with him? Build a village? Because then I can move in there and I'm going to destroy your village.
Okay, I wasn't... For some reason, I thought I would be too far ahead for you to destroy this village.
No, because you're not going to build a city before I would destroy them both. You need to move them together. There you go.
All right.
All right, see, I'm glad you didn't try to do that the other way, you'd have been totally hosed. So I'm just going to recruit more knights and place them right there.
And that's why Tim won the last game. Alright, so I'm going to build a village. Oh wait, can I build more than one village?
Well, you can go over here.
Build one
yeah.
there.
You got two.
That's it. There's no other places, but okay.
So 2 of them in the
one there,
the plains,
and one there.
There you go.
So look at all these points. Whee!
Yeah, eventually we got to turn those in. All right, so she is forcing me basically now to try to protect this village at some point because she's just going to be able to build a city here. I won't be able to stop her from building a city, which is going to then, force me to do something. So I'm going to place my 2 knights now on that spot there.
I don't know. I'm trying to think ahead. I mean, he can't attack this now because there's 2 pawns on it. So do I want to build a city yet? I don't have to do it yet.
No, you don't have to yet.
But the faster I do it, the faster I can recruit to that spot.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'll go ahead and build a city.
So she takes her village off, places a city there, and she gains 10 points for doing that. And see, I think it was a really smart move, to be honest with you. I'm going to move 1 knight to this location and 1 knight to that location. And that's it.
And here come the reserves.
No!
And they're all drunk again. Why do my guys keep falling over? Look at that. They're falling over as I'm trying to get them.
Well, they're bored.
They need to lay off the rum.
All right, so now I've got these protected. So she can take this, which is a good spot. Because then that basically means that I can't come around this way. So my question is, do I try to take this? Probably a good idea. So I'm going to move 1 knight there to take this location. That means now I'm trying to, basically what I'm doing is I'm hedging her. Now all she has is this spot, and this spot. That's the only places she can really go to do anything for the most part. I mean, it's not necessarily 100% true. I mean, she could bust out. And then... You know what? I think instead of doing that, that's really not as a good idea. I'm going to move them 2 down to there instead.
I see.
And now I'll hedge her in a different direction.
I'm so tempted to just give up on that spot, but look at all those knights that would be wasted. So I will move these guys right here. Oh, one thing I was going to point out was it looks like, oh, I'm fine. I've got more knights. I can just move them over here and take this spot, right? No. Because once there's
1 down there,
it doesn't matter. Once there's 2 pawns, you cannot take it. It would be a stalemate. I mean, I could.
She could move 2, but then I could just move
2.
1 right there, and now I've got majority, which kills both of hers.
Exactly. So I will move 2 down right there.
And this is where I wish I still had my other stronghold, because this would have been a much better move to be able to build, to build more, to cut her off. I guess what I'm saying. Because what's happening now is that it's forcing me to have to keep knights in my villages to protect them. And that really does kind of stink. But that's part of the game. So I think I could try to move him down here first if I wanted to, which I think I will. We'll move him here, and then we're going to move him right to there. So my next turn then now I can build villages, and I'll be able to build 4 instead of just 2.
My instinct was, oh, well, I'll just move these guys down here. And no, because you cannot move onto a mountain spot when there's already a pawn there. So I can't do that. A
village or a pawn?
A pawn. A village counts as a pawn. So I think I'll move this guy here. And I'll move this guy here. And we'll see what Tim's going to do about that. Interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't expect you to do that. I mean, you left one of your knights 100% vulnerable. So I can move my 2 knights down there and destroy that one. I'm not exactly sure why she did that, to be truthful with you. I guess to try to...
Interesting.
trying to free up this pass right here. So ultimately, in my mind, I resigned myself to say, I'm going to allow her to have at least 2 of those 4 spaces. What's the big deal? Why don't I just stick with that plan? So I'm settling down my knights. And we're going to build villages. Whoa! And here, and here. So I've got a forest, a plains, another forest, and a mountain region where I built villages. I'll collect them tiles. So 1 little, 2 little, 3 little villages, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little villages, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little villages.
That is something.
That is
Tim
something.
always beats me at is that he builds a lot more villages at a time. You know, I'm probably only going to build 2. I don't really see any more that I could build at the moment. I'm looking. I don't know. What do I want to do? I've only got one. This is my problem. My dudes are spread out all over the place.
Well, mine are
See?
too,
I
because
got this guy over here.
I got the same issues.
This guy over here is doing nothing. And if I recruit right now, I can only recruit 1, so that kind of stinks.
Good timing to try to
do.
I would probably settle down.
Settle down.
That'll give you 2 of them.
And only give me 2. You get 4 and 5 at a time. It just seems like it's cheap to only do 2.
Move this guy over to here and get him someplace different.
Yeah.
And, you know.
That would be...
I don't know.
But then that leaves that guy. See, I'm leaving this vulnerable. I don't know. So I move this guy here. And do I want to move that guy? Move that guy there. That's exciting.
All right, so now let's be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be. This is going to make her decide what does she want to do. Because if she brings this knight out, I know she's limited on her knights in her reserve. And she's getting spread out pretty far from her castle. So if she brings him out, settles him down, now I can start cleaning up and destroying a bunch of her villages.
This is an interesting situation here, because if I build a village right here, he can just take these... Oh, wait, that's not a knight. That's a village. Ugh, I'm so confused.
Yeah, and I'm not going to leave those unprotected, so that'd be silly, because all I do is go destroy yours, then you would be able to come in and destroy mine.
I was thinking... I thought this was knights, and so... that totally changes what I was going to do. I was going to recruit.
I think you're safe
so
to build.
I think I will build
1 here and 1 here.
And then you got 1 over here as well. So that'd be a total of 3, all in forests. So I've got your tokens. There you go. And then 1 more right here. Very good. I think it was a good move.
And yay!
Okay, so now I'm going to move 2 knights from here to there. So now she has decision to make. What will you do, little lady? Because we're coming to raid your village.
Obviously, I don't want him to raid that village, so I'll move this guy here. And I think I'll move something down here. Why not? Why not? Yee.
So I expected her to recruit here, but she knows I would have destroyed that village then. Regardless, a village will be lost, because now I'm just going to place them both right there. I don't know how she can avoid this.
Well, you see, when I first built this village, I was thinking, oh, look, it's 1 spot away from a city.
I didn't think about a city, dude.
I've been waiting this entire game until I needed to build a city there in order to...
Bam.
There's my city.
That's how you protect it. Good job.
There's another...
No. Wait. We're going to go down to 10. There we go. Let's not...
Down. 10 points, not 10 points. 15 points. All right. But yeah, I was waiting until I needed to protect that spot in order to build the city.
Very good, very good. That was a brilliant move. All right, so let's see what I want to do now. Man, a lot of things I'd like to do. Problem is, I'm getting so spread thin is the issue here. I think I'm going to move this guy to here. No, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to just turn in some of these for points.
Yeah.
So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm going to turn those in, and now I'm going to move up 15 points.
Got a prime spot right there. So here come my dudes. Look, they're not drunk this time. Look at that.
We're not drunk, I swear. I'm sensing impending doom right here. Now, I could move this knight over to here, and that'll protect it if I wanted to, which probably is not a bad idea. So let's protect that village right there with that knight by moving him. And let's move... I'm thinking we could move this knight up to here. Instead, let's move back to here.
I'm thinking about moving my knights, but I'm also thinking I need to turn my points in because I actually have a lot.
You got quite a bit, so you want to try to create 15.
I need 15, and I want to use...
I'm sorry.
I want to use these. because if I save them for the end of the game, they're going to give me 0 points. So I don't want to save those for the end of the game.
There's 10 and then there's 15 if you do that.
And those are kind of nice to turn in because then your opponent can't steal them from you.
Right,
but,
so.
I mean, I'm still going to have one he could steal from me,
So
but
that's
whatever.
15 points. That'll put you at 35 now. And I think that was a good move. I was expecting you to do that as well. So, all right. So, do I want to play aggressive or do I want to... See, playing aggressive means that I move this knight down to here. That'll force her knight off of there. So she'll have to protect those 2 villages. But of course, then I'm having to keep 2 knights there at all times. She's having to keep 2 knights. It's a stalemate kind of a situation. So, I'm also a bit more loose could play, and that's by spreading my knights out a little bit more, and just accepting some form of a consequence that will inevitably occur. You don't necessarily want to lose your villages, and because, let's face it, you built them in a spot for a reason. Most of the time you build them in a spot to create a barrier, a buffer between you and your opponent. So whenever you lose those, that means now your opponent could end up building one, and, well, now they've got the advantage on you. One good thing about this, what's happening here in this game so far, is that she's out of village or cities. She can no longer build cities, which means that I know exactly where all her knights are going to come from for the rest of the game. The bad part is she built in pretty good locations, which means that it's not like I could really take full advantage of that. I could, however, remove this one and build a city in that spot, which I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to remove this one, and we're going to place a city in this location, and that will give me 10 points.
I think at this point I'm kind of playing defense. I don't know if I want to move yet. It's a tough decision. It's tough.
It's so tough. Like beef jerky.
It's about timing now. Look at this score track.
Oh yeah.
And look at our points, and it's about timing. It's about
how
soon am I gonna Yeah, it's a race, and I'm gonna need to build in order to win this race. So that's what I'm looking at. But I'm also gonna have to turn in my points in order to win the race, you know? I'll move these 2 guys there.
Alright, so now I am going to build, and I'm going to take these 2 knights off. And we're going to place a village in each one of these spots. And that will give me a plains and a forest. And I don't have any other knights out that I can do that with, so that'll be it for me.
15 points right there. Let's turn them in.
Alright, and I could do the same thing, but... I'm thinking I would... Man, this is a tough decision. Because those guys can be a problem. They're the only real threat that I have are these guys. Because she could start bringing them over. Now, if I can just plop a knight here, I'm safe. What I fully expect is what she's going to do, though, is she's going to build 2 villages. One here on her next turn is what I'm expecting.
I already have a village there.
I'm sorry. So she probably will end up moving 2 knights here, and then she'll end up building. So that'd be 8. So basically now it's kind of a race at this moment. We both know it's a race. It's going to be who can kind of build their stuff first. I think what I need to do is I'm going to recruit 3 knights to this location over here. I don't know if this is a grand idea, to be honest with you. Instead, you know what? I'm going to turn these in. That's 15 points for me, so that's going to move me over.
I'm falling. Hello!
I'm going to recruit. We will put 2 knights here.
And the battle begins. Hello!
Hi. So basically what she's doing is by collecting all 3 of her knights here, now I could, I can't really move all 3 of my knights into here. Now, what I can do, though, is I can try to force her to decide to move around a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is that I could put 2 of my knights here, which would then force her to move her other knight down. Now, one knight cannot take a town. I need to have 2 knights to be able to destroy that one. So it was a pretty good move. Now, the other thing I could do is just reside to just move down to here and... with both my knights, and then know that, hey, I've got that to be able to take later as a town. or you know, to build a village there. And that's not a bad idea all around. I don't know though. I kind of need to start building over here, and that's the problem. She keeps distracting me with this crap, and I'm not building all my stuff over there. But that's all right. She's becoming a bit more limited, and eventually, because I can't let her build towns here. That's the key. So I need to move both of these guys down to here.
Dang it. I was going to move my guys there.
I know. The whole thing is that...
Because I need to try to destroy that right there.
I expected you to do that. That's why I'm like, and I can't let you just have all this plains area. I've got to take over some spots.
So I need to build a couple of villages. So
here and here.
One here.
And that'll give you 8 total
that
shield
gives
points.
Me...
All right, and I'm going to recruit this guy over here to this city.
I still have 2 dudes here, so I'm thinking I might...
Again.
That would just leave us at a stalemate if I move him there. And then, see, if I move them here, then he could just move one back. So it's not really going to help me.
No, if you move him here, I'll move this guy over there and destroy your 2 knights.
Well, or that.
Oh, there's always that.
If I move them, it's not going to help me any. So, yeah, I'm going to recruit.
Yeah, that stinks. Let's see. So now I'm going to have to move that knight there just to protect that. Otherwise, she's going to steal my points.
Yay.
So it's kind of what I got to do, but then she's just going to march her guys around. Oh, man, I'm so spread out. It's driving me crazy. And she's not. She has more knights that she can maneuver around, more so than I can. And that's what's driving me nuts. So, man, this is a really tough decision on what I need to do here. Okay, I know what I'll do. I'm going to move this knight into here, and then I'm going to move this knight into here. And I'm thinking that's a good idea. Now, that's going to leave that vulnerable, but then that leaves her vulnerable. She has more to lose than I do.
I am going to lose something no matter what. No matter what I move, I'm losing something. If I take this village, he can just take this one. So that's a complete stalemate there. If I move these guys back to protect these, I lose this one. If I don't move these guys back to protect these, I'm going to lose one of them. So, I think I'm just going to forget about it and go over here.
I like that plan. So she conquers that. So what happens is I lose my village. And then now she gets her choice of any one of my tokens. Obviously,
take 5.
She'll want the
Thank
5.
you.
Let's move this guy into here. Yes. And then that will destroy this, though. And now I'm just going to get my 5-point token right back. Thank you very much. And I could have moved one more guy because I only moved one knight. So I'm going to also move this knight out of here and put him right there.
Well, I'm stuck moving these guys to protect this. So there we go. And I guess I will move this dude. Do I want to move that dude? Yeah, I'll move this guy there.
All right. I'm going to build, so I'm going to move this guy, and this guy. And that will give me a village here, a village here, and a village here.
I will move this guy here. And I guess I'll move this guy down here since I really don't have anything else I can do at the moment other than moving that guy.
Okay, and I'm going to recruit 2 knights to this location right here.
I could move that guy just so he could chase him around. I mean, I don't know.
Nay! Chase me! Catch me if you can! Nay!
Sheesh, this is tough. I guess I'll just move this guy off and build a village there.
Okay, that'll give you 4.
And that's all I can build, because if I build here, he's just going to steal it. So
I'll steal it.
I guess there's no point to that. And can't move and build on the same turn, so that's all I can do.
But you left him vulnerable all by himself. So I'm going to move him there and destroy your knight.
Which means I have 2 knights to recruit, so... Hello!
See, if I build a village here, she's stuck there. And then it's just a matter of us going around and destroying each other's villages nonstop over here in this endless circle of death. So at what stage does the madness end? I want to put my 2 knights there.
Let us begin the endless circle of death. And we will destroy that village.
Okay, and then that will give you my fiber.
Whee!
Yeah, it was totally ignorant of me. I just didn't even pay attention. I distracted myself and you know, so now she's going to be able to destroy unless I recruit and put 1 knight there, but it doesn't matter. She'll still have enough points by stealing from me. So what do I decide to do? I mean, I could end up spinning all these just to move up 15 points. And I mean, that's not a god-awful decision if I wanted to. And then that'll limit her to where all she's getting is that. All she needs to do is she's got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. So all she needs to do is just steal like this one. And that's going to give her basically everything she needs to be able to move up the first and the second turn. So the game would be over essentially in 2 turns. So
3.
So I might So I might as well just spend all of these and move up another 15 points. So all she'll have available is just those 2 there.
15 points for me.
All right, so I'm going to move this guy here. And let's see. We'll move this guy to here.
Nay.
Okay, so basically what
Building spree.
I can build, so that'd be 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So unfortunately, I'm still going to be short from being able to do the 15-point jump, which does stink. So essentially, yeah, she has won the game at this stage.
I was first player,
now,
so he's going to get another turn.
But now I could move like this guy here and this guy there, and then I could build the 3. Regardless, it doesn't matter. She'll end up still winning the game. Inevitably, there's no way around it because she's going to be able to go 15 points there, her very next move. And then I could build, and that would move me down to here, so she would win by, those 5th. Or actually, I'd be able to build, yeah, and then
you would have to
that would be it.
Basically.
So it's not going to really matter a whole lot, to be honest. What I'll do is just for giggles, I will just remove all 3 of these guys, and I will build here, here, and here.
I'm going to turn all these in. Now, this is more than 15 points. I don't get to keep any of that. I have to turn all of them in, and I only get 15 points. But, see, they're only worth 2 at the end of the game anyway, so it's not really going to make any difference.
That'll force end game. So now I get 1 more turn. That's it. And she essentially won. There's no way around it. Now, what she could have done is she could have been more aggressive and moved them down there and then stole this token. But it really isn't going to matter. So I'm going to remove this one here, and I will, put a city there. That will give me 10 more points. Now, that's the end of the game. Now, what we do is we can add up these points that we do have left in front of us. So I would have ended the game at 65 plus the silver points, which would be then 70, and then she ended the game at 80. That was a good game. That one little spot right there is, and I should have paid attention. I should have just recruited and put it there and let you only steal 1. That would have changed the outcome pretty dramatic. We practice these games. And off camera, I am slaughtering you. And then on camera, I made that one stupid mistake. And that really cost me the game.
I'm playing this game, I'm sweating bullets because he beat me so badly.
So badly
off
One
camera.
game, she literally was like, well, that's it. There's nothing I can do.
It was like the beginning of the game, and I was like, I might as well just not even play the rest of this.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to just stop and just resetting.
But this time, I am the king!
No, you're not the king. You're the duke, all right? There's a difference. Well, actually, technically, I think you're the duchess. Right? I don't think is a woman a duke or a duchess. I think you're the duchess.
A woman would be a duchess, but I want to be the queen. Off with your head!
And you're not the queen.
It looks...
Hey, look, you're obviously the bloody queen. Nobody wants you as the queen. Nobody.
It looks like king on the score track, but apparently it's the duke.
Yeah, you're a duke, and you're definitely not a king. And I ended as the marquis.
Marquis, ooh, fancy.
Yeah. Look. The bottom line is that I am of nobility, and that's all that I care.
That's all that matters.
May have lost the game, but I'm still of nobility, baby.
Pay
okay?
me my taxes.
There you go. That's all. So let's talk about the game itself. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to start. I like this game an awful lot. I like how you can change up the board, so it creates different little maps. I like how this game is a lot. It's got skirmish, but it mainly revolves around abstract feel. I mean, look, you've got the knights and you've got the cities and the strongholds and stuff, but really this game comes down to positioning on the board and trying to set yourself up strategically to cut your opponent off. There are some key areas a lot of times on the board where you could say, if I do this and I do that, that cuts off this half of the board. And in our practice games, Carmen learned the hard way of just how horrible that could be, because in our practice games I did that to her over and over and over. Finally she learned, hey, let's not let this happen, and you built your cities early.
It takes me a while to learn the game, whereas Tim comes right out, straight out. And then I'm sweating bullets every time we play, because I've been beat in the past.
I came out of the gate pretty rough on you.
But as usual, the camera is my lucky charm. I have to say, the game reminds me of Hyperborea. And I actually thought of that because I was going to say that the resources are very limited. And it takes me a while to get used to that fact, I'm always like, this is frustrating. I don't have enough knights. And the first couple of times I play, I'm like, I don't even know if I like this. There's not enough knights, If you're used to a kind of an open Euro-style game where you can just do whatever you want and grab points, it takes a little bit of getting used to. This is a strategic, abstract game, and I would say Hyperborea is very similar in the way that you control the map and you're gaining points. Like, there is skirmish involved, but skirmish is not the main point of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But yet the skirmish is there to try to keep you on your toes, to where, you could spread out, and I think that's where my downfall in this game, ended up coming to play, is the fact I spread out, but truthfully, if I would have just concentrated on the right side of the board, instead of worrying about that middle section, I would have really dominated, I think, late game. But you kept me distracted enough.
I was totally cut off of that right side of the board.
You were, but you kept me distracted enough on that other area, that center portion, enough to be able to end the game. And that was well played on your half.
It's about timing. You've got to. I was looking at how many points we had, and I could end this, and I could end it and be right there on the 80.
And that's the thing. Once you start really getting this, and I want to touch back a little bit before I get into my other thought, is that you played a very smart game this time in the fact that you built your cities a little bit earlier than what you did in our previous contests. I was late, and that's really what ended up hurting me, because building your cities allows you then to spawn knights from several other areas, and that puts a bit more of a threat on your opponent.
And there's not a whole lot of places you can build a city, so it's kind of nice to take advantage of that when you can.
It does become limited in the area, because you always have to build a space away from a city that's already previously on the board. But the other part is that fact now you can spawn your knights from those locations, and now it's like, oh gosh, now I have to worry about this city where knights could possibly come from.
Right.
So it's another angle that I have to keep in mind that she could come from. And that's ultimately really how you ended up winning the game, because you spawned your knights in that one spot where it was just kind of, or recruited.
They're not clones or anything.
And that forced me that, okay, now I made the mistake. And that's what this game is about. It's about making that mistake.
Yeah,
and then taking advantage of that mistake. And you did it perfectly, I thought.
I mean, you saw that I made a mistake early in the game. And, I don't know. If he wouldn't have explained that to me, that I didn't have time to do that, that might have been the game right there.
Yeah, and it could have been. But that's kind of how, in our previous contests, and especially I think it was the second game was like your absolute worst game that you played. What I did quickly is that I just maneuvered my knights in strategic areas, held her off long enough.
And then he built, and boom, I was cut off.
And then I built, and she literally had, probably with all three of her cities, probably maybe 6 tiles that she could have built on.
As soon as he built, I was like, That's it. It's over.
It was
'Cause there
100%
was nowhere
over.
for me to go.
And so it's neat to see how you played this one as compared to the other ones, because it's like you learned from it. You realized, hey, I can't let this sucker do that to me again.
Right.
So you expanded quickly, but not just that. You built your cities real quick. And so kudos to you. I thought you played a very good game. Ultimately, I like this game, and I like it quite a bit, to be honest with you. I think it could be crazy playing with 4 players. I think it works very, very well with just 2 players.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, with 4 players, I think I could get stressed.
If there were 4 players, exactly.
Well,
I would
because
be a bit stressed out. I'd be worried.
What could end up happening is that one player could be knocked out of the game pretty early by the other players. Now, the board would be bigger, but if other players took strategic spaces, one player could be very limited on any of their actions because you just can't move.
I really enjoy playing this game, and I'm not real big on the strategic, abstract, non-Euro style games typically, especially if there's skirmish involved.
Yeah.
So, you know, if maybe you're not as big into it, but your partner is, this is probably a game that you would want to pick up.
Yeah, and I think the pieces and all that stuff, it just makes for a neat experience. The fact you could change the board up, you could create a custom board if you wanted to. There's a lot of different things you can do with this game. Ultimately, I think that this is a great game for just the 2 of us, and it's going to be a keeper in my collection. I don't see this going anywhere anytime soon. So, any other things you want to say?
So we highly recommend it.
Yes, we do. So that is Barony by Asmodee and Matagot. And we appreciate you watching the video, as usual. And check out our other ones if you want to see some of our other live play reviews. And we do have a lot more coming down the pike. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.